We're in Mark chapter 11, verse 15. This is Yeshua in the temple, whipping them boys out of the temple for doing foolishness in the temple. And what verse 17? And he taught, saying unto them, it is written. Now keep in mind, it is written. So Yeshua is quoting from a text. My house shall be called of all nations. That's the word that we're looking at. All nations, the house of prayer. So Yeshua is quoting from a book. Before we even go to that text, let's look at the Strong Concordance on the term nation in context. 1484, ethnos in Greek, Strong Concordance. What's the definition for it? Nations, plural nation, a race, a nation, people, the nations as distinct from Israel, right? The usage of the word in that context. A race, people, nation, the nations, heathen world, Gentile. So what Yeshua was actually saying, that this house shall be called the house of prayer of all nations, all heathens, all Gentile, every nation, whether you Jew, Gentile, this house was set up as such. But let's go over to where Yeshua was quoting Isaiah 56, verses 6. Also the sons of strangers. These strangers are exactly what it says, sons of strangers. Now let's define that word. That join themselves, you see, join themselves. Sometimes words have meaning alone when you read it. But we'll show you that these sons of strangers here are heathens. Let's keep reading. That join themselves unto the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servant. Let's drop down, verse 7. Their burnt offering and their sacrifices shall be acceptable unto my altar. For mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. Right? Now let's get the Hebrew word for that stranger in context here. Strong's, once again, 5236. Nakar, 5236. Watch it now. Nakar, foreign, a foreigner, heathendom, alien, stranger, etc., etc. Now, when you look, pay close attention, it gives you Isaiah 56, verse 3. Neither let the sons of stranger that has joint say to the son of stranger has joint to. So in context, once more, in the Greek, other nation. Over here in the Hebrew, Isaiah 56, other nations. This is not Hebrew Israelite. But wait, we've got more.
What's up, y'all? You know, it's kind of sad to me that, our people, we're like sheep. We really are. That's why the scripture says we are the lost sheep. That's what it says. We are the lost sheep. What is the characteristics of a sheep? A sheep is, very, very peaceful, very docile animal. You know, it trusts everything. It trusts every other animal. A sheep will walk up, to a lion, a bear, a wolf. And that's why you need a shepherd to protect the sheep, because the sheep is dumb. It's very docile. It doesn't know how to protect itself. Our people are like sheep. This brother, I don't know where he's from, Haiti or Jamaica. He has an accent. But as he's making this video, ICE is deporting his people out of the country. The police have been pulling people over that look like him and unaliving people, for no reason. You go in your wallet to pull out your ID card and they shoot you. Brothers that look just like him, you see. And our people, they still cleave to the other nations. They want the other nations. They need to have the other nations included in their covenant. This book is only about Israelites. That's all it is. It's about the Israelites repenting. You know, they fell, they repented, and they get the kingdom in the end. That's the end of the story. Only the Israelites. The covenants, both old and new, were for the Israelites only. When are people going to accept it for what it is? You know, it's really sad. But let's go to Isaiah to see, is this talking about the other nations, the heathens, being grafted into our covenant? Are they going to be doing sacrifices and burnt offerings? Because I thought that was only for the Israelites. That was a covenant only made with the Israelites. When you go to Psalms 50 and 5, the sacrifice was a covenant between Most High and his children, the children of Israel. No one else. So let's go to book Isaiah chapter 1 first to see, you know, who was the prophet Isaiah sent to talk to? Who was he prophesying to? You see, we got to realize that this whole Bible is talking about Israelites. You see, this whole Bible. So when you go to verse 1, it says, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. See that? Isaiah was talking to Judah and to Israel and Jerusalem only. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom only. That's who he's talking to. You see, that's easy to understand. Who was the letter addressed to? You know, who was Isaiah sent to talk to? He went to talk to God's people. That's who he went to talk to. All right, so the brother pulled up Isaiah 56. Let's look at verse 3. It says, neither let the son of the stranger, that's where the Christians, apologists, that's where they fall off the horse. They see the word stranger, that had joined himself to the Lord, speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. When you read the scriptures, you understand that eunuchs were those Israelites who were in captivity. Daniel being an example of a eunuch. You know, they were castrating Israelite men. You see, that's historical. Even here in America, they were castrating black men and Hispanics men, Native Americans, to reduce our population. So we understand that this is talking about Israelites. All right, let's go to book of Acts chapter 13, verse 17. Who are the strangers mentioned of in Isaiah? It says, the God of this people of Israel chose our fathers and exalted the people when they dwelt as strangers in the land of Egypt. So we were the strangers dwelling in all these different lands of our captivities. We dwelt as strangers in the land of Egypt, and with an high arm brought he them out of it. All right, let's go to book of Obadiah, chapter 1. It says, verse 8, chapter 1, verse 8. Shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, the white men, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Same thing it says in Isaiah 14. So this can't be talking, the strangers that's going to be worshiping with us it can't be the strangers. It can't be the other nations. Verse 10, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So this is not talking about other nations. The Bible never contradicts itself. So how can It be talking about saving strangers. So verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem. They cast lots, they sold us. Even thou was as one of them. The white man was as one of the other people, that he was our brother. He was our brother. When you read about Jacob and Esau in Genesis chapter 25, Esau was our brother, but he had a perpetual hatred towards us. When you read Ezekiel 35, his hatred towards us is perpetual. That's why you see ICE doing what they're doing, taking all the dark races people and shipping them out of the country. You see? So why are dumb Christians still trying to save their enemies? It don't make sense. We're like lost sheep, man. Everyone kicks us around. The Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs had us in captivity, and we still like dumb animals that we keep, coming back. You see, we keep coming back and giving them another chance to do harm to us and to our children. Black people are the only ones that do that. Verse 12 rather. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. So the Israelites became strangers in this land. When we went into captivity, we became strangers. You see, God Most High refers to us as strangers. We are a stranger here in America, believe it or not. We are a stranger in all the lands that we were sold off into captivity. Dumb Christians need to stop with the nonsense. This is our book. All right, I'm going to read the rest of it out of my book, out of my Bible, because, you got the stop button in the way. All right, so it says, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. So the strangers all throughout this Bible is talking about the Israelites. This whole Bible. If it says Gentiles, it's talking about Israel. You see? If it's talking about Gentiles being saved, strangers being saved, heathens being saved, guess what? It's talking about Israelites. No, nobody else. You see, the covenants were given to Israel only. You see, when you go to Hebrews 8:8, it says the covenant is given to Israel, the house of Israel, and the house of Judah. That's it. Nobody else. It don't mention nobody else. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 34. Because these dumb apologists, they like to run to the white man's book, the concordance, to get the understanding instead of reading the Bible precept upon precept. You see, as it says in Isaiah chapter 28. You see, the Bible tells you who the strangers are. It tells you who the Gentiles are, who the heathen is. You see? So I'm going to read it out of my Bible once again. Isaiah 34, verse 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None of these prophecies in this Bible is going to fail. If it says that Israel is going to get the kingdom in in Revelations 21, then that's the 12 gates is for Israel. That's who's getting the kingdom. None of these prophecies are going to fail. All right. So it says, none of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. We don't need no concordance. If you understand how this Bible is set up, we don't need a concordance to tell us who the Gentiles are. We don't need a white man giving us our understanding, you see, because he gave you a false understanding in slavery when he told you slaves obey your masters, but we still run to him to explain to us our Bible. That makes no sense. So none shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. So the Lord's Spirit hath gathered all these books together for you to get understanding, you Israelites to get understanding, so that you could learn how to repent as a people and gather yourselves together, not with the other nations. See, we not gathering with the other nations. We gathering Israelite people only, you see. So I hope this is edifying to you. I hope in your spirit you can accept it, for what it is. Shalom.